but in that coffin, or even put people, 3 people. A cross-examination of police inspector of the Arrow next early. Even without having to put these 3 men, there is wide of the extent in which the women and children go. Then corpse of Saito old man. Let's put on your eyes. Akechi keep an answer snappy, was returned shake your wave of nanny. Bias. Saito place where the old man, it's going to you know. Your waves eating surface did crackling ice. Ias. No, do what you propose such a thing. I do not, way, I do not know. Horror of the coffin, which are arranged in the back parlor. Oh, do you have it there? Even or 3, if any MMB. But had said that while ago that just came delivered from the funeral home. Akechi's your orders. With everyone. Wilt thou do what the hell would? Weird to say. There then had been suspicious once. Quote, contact wave is loquacious. Is it empty? Trying to be seen going in whether it is. Akechi is prompting Mr. Sunikawa. In your waves and 3 people, I went into the inner room. Becomes enough. In front of the alcove. Plain wood coffin is 3. It is arranged neatly behaved well. Since a regular basis a very not used parlor. As somehow Garong's dismal feeling. 2 is truly is empty. But only one of the right end, there's the content. Akechi is the person who called strange such as content. Close to the right edge of the coffin. It showed a little open the lid. Human beings to make looking except Sunikawa and Mr. Baba has crouched. Light of comb electric lamp, which refers to the gap between the lid and dried up like the leather of the person. The half of the sallow are against the blurred. Oya, really Saito-san. Well, contact wave is muttered that which is not gibberish and palms together in familiar Buddha. Oh, I see. The dead also, I still that had been hidden in the example of the well. Inspector was said to like twit. Yes, I was on top of that too of the food on. To a scorbe. Then there was to the corpse of Saito old man. Because you play will be so much more complex. In order to the orderly exposure of a trick. Fumio and Mr. Kobayashi-kun is. Beforehand. I had been Hakabidashi the carcasses only. Because anyway I do not have to be housed in the coffin. Quote, Akechi was excused like that, but might have had more outside of reason. In 2 of the coffin after. In order of Hatake and Agi Shozo and Shoichi Edogawa. It is a translation that has been prepared. The inspector, when kanji to Tekubari that Yuki Todoi of Akechi. Now, tonight you play is to close the curtain. In other words, the carcasses of Saito old man is a translation that served the role that down the sinister Dawn book. Akechi is showed deliberately cheerfully joked, and we moved to the future real Torimono. Sunikawa said, cried noticed the original like a hound that was before the prey. It time has come to really shines of demon inspector. I cared also Shizuko's parent-child safety. And in the first criminal fugitive is disturbing. It is not if you are Guzu, the real culprit. Mr. Sunikawa, did you forget? Years old before I Shizuko or Kata was your Chinghei say. Akechi is paying restless one the inspector to fade. It is, of Kimi Shizuko's us, would be the sense that they know the hiding place. But the culprit is, Wakashi offender sniffed its hiding place. What would you do hit? After all, not if you are Daddle. Saha should be guided to that location. Quote, Sunikawa said the attitude of too leisurely Akechi, cried Haradata Shiku. No, the culprit is a long time ago. We have got the Shizuko's us. The first, also was escaped that people from here. Also was doing made a hiding place. But we are all the work of the criminal. Ed, what's that? Inspector Izuki, your hate things did not say. Then, still not rush further. Is Shizuko Mr. Not gets killed? Kansa you think that trying to do together. Of course we're going toward the arrest of the perpetrators. However, nothing's not panic it. The inspector and hear it? Had Otsu little, what would be the Akechi is? If there is no seasons. because I thought that there is no shiggy or poised so leisurely. And do you know already a criminal? Yeah, I know better. Thought Shizuko's put it in the coffin. Also is doing to escape from here. It was good to be specification work of the criminal. It is the first, but I do not know me well. Then, the culprit is this mansion, but whether you say you think of the inner. Speaking of guy who escaped the Shizuko's, there is no difference to the people who that person had the most trust such a person. Not to the outside of perhaps Shizuko's lover. Iodine. In other words, the culprit of this incident. It was Shizuko's lover. It was Fusao Mitani. Cut. Such as Sunikawa Inspector. Had in pensive reasoning of Akechi is, at first glance, but very quirky in many cases, and looked well thought, always as a reason. There is no issue of disturbance. Shizuko's lover. Its criminal aiming a life of its Shizuko-san. Outlandish, even outlandish, but unexpected seems only a rather absurd fantasy. Is in the Akechi, without a sure basis, going to blurt out such a thing? There is no. The hell is this is? What that would be strange incident. Sunikawa said, did not know no matter how much thought in, but why not catch the Mitani you? He is from a little while ago. We had not had attended. Even so, Mitani-kun is a question criminal. Anyo play that revealed the sin that he has committed. Nanti are the sights in cold blood. To me is, what is somehow, do not know is refreshing translation. No, he is not then had never in cold blood. Such as folding you, is that the exposure of a trick in that storeroom that did not notice. That guy is, and turned pale. Floated the beads of sweat on the forehead site. Or I do not have trembling. Speaking of down, so, as was neither there is no strange behavior. Kun of reasoning here later. Rabbit is also the corner. It is a good way to see and correct question the Mitani you. That person is going to still here. Long ago fled it would have been in. Before the age. On the way coming from the storeroom to this room. I have blinded the figure. Perhaps from the window of the corridor. I think that he was out to the garden. Akechi is going to be a carefree. I knew it. You was silent. Did you had to escape a criminal? Inspector is Tamarikane in severe Kenmaku. It was cross-examination. Sunikawa enough to come if core Mr. by heating. Akechi seemed to go Havatsu the opposite. I decide to get peace of mind. I'm fine. But you know the guy of destination. Because of it's on just in case. You yes by up to tailing after Mitani. What is tailing? When did? Who? When the inspectors eat surface. Akechi laughed. There is no person to ask such a thing to the outside. M. Fumio-san and Kobayashi. Those two people. But it is a woman or a child. Half-heartedly, and agile than adults. The head also works. Care about that. Rarely lose sight of him. There is none. Int that they know of you, because that guy of the destination? Their Meguro factory town, is a small factory of one house. Mitani is, whether entered really into it, is the arrangements to come make a phone call from Fumio's. Oh, when you are only young. There is a might be so. Student come in. I was told that it is the phone to Akechi. Akechi is not connected to the indoor of the desk phone. It took the handset. I is Fumio. That person, I please come after all went to ASCO. On the fly, thank you, but because the fly is? But, that person, somehow, that the is of wearing come was. No, it is a state that seems to have cancelled. 1. So immediately, you traveled with Sunikawa's, leaving the Kobayashi-kun to there. Is you. Please carry that example. So, Akechi is leaving the desk phone toward the Sunikawa Mr. Is here. After all, is back phase to Meguro of the factory district. Let's immediately accompany you. Now I'm the constable of cheer. Let's arrange to collect to there. Izumida was inspector. To hear the location of the factory from Akechi, multiplied by the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department. A phone call to the competent police station. After about 30 minutes, the two cars, and get off at a little short of the purpose of the factory. On foot, it went closer to the temple. From the darkness, Kobayashi has been long awaited boy came flying out. I'm there in the factory to make. Akechi asks in a low voice. Okay, there is no evidence that went out. Kobayashi assistant was clerical answered. Soon, police officers of plainclothes uniform 5 people from the jurisdiction police arrived. Guys, and the division of labor, please watch the front and back of the factory. Sunikawa said the appearance of Mitani telling us in their appearance. Were asked by the police 5 people. Then, only 2 people of Akechi and Sunikawa inspectors walked into the pitch dark inside the gate. Therefore it of dark night. Details. But unexpected no, because the factory was indeed desolate. A shabby thing. Board fences is full of patches of galvanized iron plate. The gate post of the verge fallen log. But still, with a small town light stomach. In light the pale, Southwest Ice Making Company. Character of the sign that is barely readable. When heiru the gates. In the dark, black building. Such as on Nudo. Of course barracks similar. But factory that rough Susan. It debris of hate factory. And murder criminal and ice making company. Probably there is what kind of fate. Although Sunikawa Mr. did not bear suspicious. Unexpected go to the translation to listen to non-implicitly mouth. I went about from after the Akechi silently too. But the entire building was completely dark. When viewed traveling around in Yoko, the torn window of glass in only one place. Akari is pointing. Itsuki Nukiyashi refers to foot to the outside of the window. Looking except. Had. Mitani of guy. Was wrong. In a dirty room. Leaning on the old table. That has been lost in thought. Was watched in vividly. Mr. Mitani. Akechi from the outside of the window, multiplied by the voice. The poor, Mitani young man, was surprised how either. He raised the hash in the face. The darkness of the outside of the glass. But viewed watermark, only visible dim empty. Unexpected notice is still Akechi. Who is? While he became the other cold feet, in a wazoo voice, it was reflective listening. It is my aunt Akechi. Hey, do not you open here. And hear it? Face of Mitani has lost a quick and pale. Then, things were also fledgling Iwazu. To the door of the other side. Mate. Now Miri customers. Sunikawa inspector. Pushes open the window. And dive into the room as Asuka. Looming placed Mitani escapes suddenly. Hikitsu bit the upper garment. It demon inspector of sensation in the arm to the Torimanocho. Ah, did you? I had the illusion that flew. Since it was found the escape was unexpected. Mitani is again the attitude to the moment. While refers to the lie that was blatant. Laughed, food butte shiku. He truly is Kyozo-ku. Misunderstanding? Ha 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 ha. Not be a misunderstanding. Once. I had to run away. Ayuda because he came to arrest as a homicide criminal. The inspector Yinju to the original chair Mitani UT, like a hawk aiming prey, was confronted before. It is murder culprit is what the Irasharudas say. I killed anyone integral. Difference. While looking at the earlier of Akechi's your play. Or are you talking still such a thing? Difference what? Man with no lips. Wearing a wax made of the surface. Killing the Hatake Inagi Shozo. A dagger to Saito. Old man I threw was a criminal. Quote. Inspector gave Renal Ming in high threat length. Oh, what is me? You say such a thing what integrally with the evidence? A dubious face made to Takumi. The evidence we'll show you right now. But sometimes you want to hear a word before that. Akechi is Tamarakane issued a mouth. Out of the Hatake Inagi and Saito. But you also were killed Bunchi that Sonoda Black Rainbow of assistant of your own. It has been found, but Michihiko Okada, is that Okada died in the waterfall of Yanyuan? This is also I think your act perhaps? Oh, I was surprised. Flying by that you do not be. I do not know anything. Mitani is an expression that's more and more surprising. Hate. Not only Mitani, the word of this Akechi. I was surprised more than a few Sunikawa Mr. Sonoda de Black Rainbow and Michihiko Okada, and was at the hands of Mitani. Okada is not was a suicide. By spoofing, saw that man went up to Ochibuchi of the waterfall. This to fortunately, or drop luck from behind. Keep and drop luck. The corpse wait for the climb float downstream. And Tataki Tsubushi the face with stones. That I had in the manner unexpected no one Okada. Oh yeah, I am what I was also a yoikyo of imitation. It was lol. Truly yoikyo, much trouble to do so. In the manner unexpected no the face of Okada. Okada himself, threw to the waterfall dress his kimono to dead ringer. Pretending dead, the real, reminiscent is the revenge on you and Shizuko's rival. That elaborate trick is, it because of me had no effect Okada is alive. Afflicts Shizuko's if I have. Specially came to tell me to my office. I either was not you. I make it look like to believe it. Actually do not even know to have been carefully your state. Ha 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 ha. Truly there was no difference in the yoikyo tale farce. Quote. Foo fun. In, if evidence. Fictional imagination. It because you can dat anyone. No way judge. So my you know. Mitani is paying ki finally Atsu. It took eating 2 people. I wonder if evidence do you want? Yes, it is what I want you to show me if there. I'll alright now show it. Kinda patience. I have been quiet. Akechi while good was not Sakuga to Sunikawa police inspector. This man, irrefutable way, it should have pressed from behind. I take a tooth type. And hear it? Mitani is turned pale. Went up standing from a chair. He is because he knew the meaning of the tooth type. But, there was no time to escape. At the same time rises. From both of the armpit. Out 2 arms of the inspector is the new. Had suddenly to him Nelson hold. Akechi the face of Mitani that are no longer able to move. In contorted to jerk back. Pushes open the lips. The lump soft with not a red rubber like. Which are prepared. In the upper and lower set of teeth that were clenched. Wearing pressed and perfect. Quick tooth type thief taken. Now, Mitani-kun. We'll see. If this red, but your teeth type taken now. Then this white one is said. Akechi has taken out the tooth type of gypsum wrapped in cloth from the pocket. Aoyama a tooth type of real culprit which had remained in the empty house. When these 2 are completely consistent, that yours that is the real culprit. It is a translation climb can be physical evidence. From the show together now. We'll see. Ihora. A minute 1 the difference of phosphorus without. It is exactly the same. This even if, no matter you are what defense, I'm in front of the judge, Mizaru, to prove you guilty. Quote. Mitani is remains to Nelson hold, it chewed the lips mortification likely. Mitani-kun, I wonder if you know you declared as the real culprit. Akechi continue smiling. Sigh before you play wells it. There appears to Nari behavior Nari your complexion rather than show to Mr. Sunikawa. To try the reaction. My goal was, and it was brilliantly successful. Mr. I am watching you play. Shed fat sweat, or not began trembling. So why was the mood to try you? What was the one reason why I started to doubt you? It is your tricks. Because too so much daring. Sunikawa's us. And cornered the man with no lips. In the due path of Cuyahoga vicinity of Aoyama. Was lost sight. Phantom had suddenly vanished like the smoke. But, in fact I not had vanished. I was in there properly. Between Tosa of the deprived and the cloak in your face and I had an artificial arm prosthesis. It keep throwing into the inside of the bushes of the fence. Return to Mitani of the real face. Boldly. Taking a walk and hang around the body attire. We were approached to Sunikawa's us. You're often using the same hand. When you came to visit the first me, threatening letters were each other throwing from the gap of the door. There is, rather than through, He dropped all the way Kimi itself to there. Picked up showing was, in addition, at Yoyogi Studio. Stone crushed glass window gravel also. After all, you were first of all keeping off the threatening letter. It showed beating the glass from the inside in reverse. At that time, to see that I is looking for outside hard. I guess that you are. I thought I am sure funny. In the case of Balloon Man of Shinagawa Bay's the same thing. When asked to Fumio's, that Balloon Man, no lips. It was different from the usual guy. It was not even in your real face. Theirs was not only to your assistant of the illusion poet Sonoda Black Rainbow. Upset that flew Kichigai's you just Fumio's in the purpose of to kidnap. Nothing or climbing up to the Kokugi-kan of the roof. Was not necessarily ordered the Hana Rapaza to run away in the balloon. I must have thought that this guy was supposed to be in trouble. Therefore, the Luoru balloons into the sea. You flew a motorboat to the site first and foremost, and within the police of lunch is unexpected approach. Strangled assistant Sonoda in a boat. Keep covered with a mask of example. To suddenly explode gasoline. Jump into your own quickly see. It was fulfilled life. Saburo Taniyama. That's how. I wonder if it is wrong that went with me. Akechi is a surprising name called on Mitani. In the face of Mitani, it floats the color of the finely deep surprise. Lol lol. I said that because I knew your real name. So I also not surprised. I guess because I learned why. This is it, Midame. Here is a photo of your childhood. Akechi is had across the notebook pocket, takes out a piece of hand-typed photo, shown in Mitani. Hora, Taniyama of you guys brothers are photographed alongside good friends right of the brother. But Jiro-kun left, but you've got I came find this from the Photoshop of Shinshua's town of his hometown of you guys. Then you, Taniyama of Mitani, as was staring at the face of the amateur detective. That's right, I've heard a life story to Miss Shizuko. This incident had been developed around the Shizukos. Then a little thought, but unexpected look like that, where the aim of the real culprit. It is Shizuko's one person from the beginning. Because what I was noticed to it, was to be seen by studying the past of the life of that person. And, was Sagashiate is, in Koikogare to Shizuko's, was a suicide. But Jiro Taniyama of your brother, Dujiro-kun of love was, no matter how passionate, and therefore extends to know that if the broken heart was in how those serving Santander, I had a place to understand. Shizuko's lifetime too, if there is that you have received the resentment of others. This Jiro Taniyama of not outside, Miss Shizuko is, once the Jiro-kun was to cohabitation, was out without variable become cruel. That person, but enough has been severely regretted is now. Suspicious person a little even is. To see to research without leaking even one person. It is my way. I'm doing the people to Shinshu. Let examine the home of Jiro-kun. I got to this photo. Jiro-kun of the family and all died out. All that is left. It has been found that that's the boy only Saburo brother ran away from home to work evil. I'm looking at a glance the Saburo photo's face. I feel all like secret was found was. Chiga what age? Photo face of Saburo. Mitani-kun. Because it was exactly the same as you. Quote, Taniyama of Mitani is bowed deeply. It did not have the power to say things. Inspector will release the hand that had been in had I tighten. To the top of the loss of strength in the floor. Had Hetaba. The reasoning Akechi is as terrible because I have refers to Zuboshi. Oh, you are? He was admitted a number of crime committed. It's there no room for defense. In, confessed to May. He hid to where the Shizuko-san and Shigeru boy. That people are now where we are. Quote, Sunikawa Mr. is squatted down on the criminal, was hastily confronted. It's here. I'm in this factory. Taniyama was shot from barely, and said in desperate tone. Satewa, I are in prison still somewhere in the room. Sought to May guide. The inspector, grabbed the right hand of Taniyama, was to march. In appearance he was another idea. Dizzy and if rises. Remains to be said. Standing before, out of the office, Sunikawa, Ryohito of Akechi is. While beware the perpetrators of escape. It was a matter of course in accordance with the later. Taniyama is bowed. A narrow corridor of total darkness. Walked with tottering. Per month of the corridor is a machine room. Shizuko and Shigeru boy, or would be really safe. Although Akechi has assured it, and the machine room of the ice-making company is not two odd hiding places. Saburo Vengeance Demon Taniyama. Already I wonder if not a festival after you've combined them into terrible ice. The last murder. When the Taniyama enters the ice-making machine room, twisted the switch of the snap and the electric lamp. First to enter the eyes. Large 2 units of the electric motor. Large and small number of copper shear and duct. Walls and ceiling of the yes Liaoning number article like a snake iron pipe. But the machine had to pause the operation. Cold air shimmed creeps in only there anywhere what with the drifts. Is not nobody here. Shizuko's where are. Sunikawa Mr. and Mimawashi upper restlessly, said. I'm here. You let them meet in now. Taniyama smiling bad smile of thin slightly. But, before that, I let everything confessed. Please listen to reason that if I was why not meet the Shizukos in these eyes. No, it will hear later slowly. First Tomei issued a Shizuko-san. The inspector, the other party is suspected that it would be to say a temporary refuge. No, unless Shidasara to hear my story before. It cannot be. Cannot I have a reason to not meet you and that people? Taniyama stubborn. I want, Tomei seen briefly talking about. Akechi is, seems there is something I think the place, allowed the offer of Taniyama. I'm a brother of Jiro Taniyama that thorn heartbreak suicide truly. I'm a villain, to the house to outside. Worked only bad things. However, the bad guys just because. Does not mean there is no love. Hate me is harder than others of affection is deep. In particular, good friends and Jiro brother. For brother had a love which is not G's also watermelon. I'm in the news of the wind. Because you know that the brother is sick. I went back to hurry sympathy. My brother is all alone. The cost of the treatment without any. Without us comfort friends. Wrapped up in dirt suey with rice cracker bootin'. I was dying. He is killed in Shizuko. Or manner of Shizuko at that time is. Was no matter how cruel. Or broken heart brother was miserable how much. Mouth does not says. Brother of Akadari. Of Higemusha, declined pale, had completely changed with the demon of a broken heart. Brother is neither a force amounting to occur from the floor. Spilled tattered in tears. In the manner grabbed the sky with both hands. Crying for you. I'm mortifying. The guy, the Shizuko, that there is no physical strength to go on killing mortifying. He is Sukashi a miserable amiable to me that was obsessed with a disease on a poor. Became the wife of the large rich that had a Kianagi. I say if it only. The most mortifying is given to such a woman. The woman would trample the eagle. I think called the 3 years. Continues to think, but it had finally become so. Brother say so. I cry. Shizuko is, of only one person in a lifetime of his brother. Was Huanan had lover to any treasure in the world. As a lover. To discard even the old sandals. Throw pretend brother. And Hakikaki the spit, of all the other party. The 2 dozens of older. The ugly man, the scammers. Went married willingly I, brother one day insidiously of me. I drank the poison. At the time of the Imawa. Brother entered coughing and gurgling. Horribly vomiting blood. Holding my hand at the bloody hand. With disappear voice. I cried. I could not put up with. I will not be death also died. It becomes a demon of a broken heart. Or that guy would prefer not to be Toya. Or not prefer not to kill collected. And the voice becomes thin and thinner. Until it finally disappeared. I was repeating the words of the same curse. I clung to the corpse of his brother. He vowed, enemy of the brother, I'll surely have my steal the property of that woman, and rape that woman. I'll do killed the last to that woman. Anyway, I'm a villain, which glared from your top. Am upsides in treatment who have committed any crime. Brother, on your behalf, while I live, become the curse of the demon. You show me a thorn this revenge. I swore, quote, Saburo Taniyama of Mitani's, and before the Akechi and Sunikawa inspector in a dismal machine room. Continue to cry. I, on behalf of my brother, aimed at Shizuko family, became a vengeance demon. Because of its preparation, any pain, any guilt was not willing. The thief was doing off and be up to it. More exaggerated and began to do also, was to create a wax mask. Even had purchased the factory, but gold obtained by doing so, in the first plan, hit the brother of the rival. But was Hatake and Agi Shozo also kill estimates? While for preparation, has lived the day, that guy got to Roshi. It is, in fact, the guy knew that it is a trick that plotting is also deeply. I also IA very recently. Then also, month and day of more than 1 year has passed in vain. Idle, because I had to earn also in order to eat. It is not all. I'm in the memories of this world, the friendly hand to the poor brother. But this revenge, that can only had a yaka, yet only by a clever way possible, because crushed the Shinkan trying Nishitogyo. But, at last, my preparation was completed. That Sonoda Black Rainbow of Mad Bunshi, assistant of your tailor-made orientation also got venom as no Avanta how. I killed the painter of oddball that Michihiko Okada planted to my body instead. In addition, when just at Tianyuan Hot Spring, appeared a man with no example of ellipse. But I did not know even a little bit is that it is Hatake and Agi Shozo. In order to more complicated crimes, this to fortunately, so create a wax mask without the same kind of lips. Elaborate and enigmatic ghost story. I'm heartily. That guy was a scare. Grief. I was doing full tormented. The Saito butler, but had no grudge. If in order to afflict the Shizuko, something life of decrepit, not a problem. I also recently discovered a prey unexpected. Attic of the miser. But Hatake and Agi Shozo. I was cheered. Immediately wrote to him on the back. Ascended to the attic. He had strangled one, I think. Then, they account for more than half of the property of the field Yanagiya. Had robbed the jewelry. Wahahaha. I'm the irresistible amusing. That I promised my brother. That I had played completely. I see only a dream of this a couple of days, brother. My brother is in a dream. It gives to say thank you to me to laugh or else a smile to the happy face. I give to say thank you. Wahahaha. Quote. Taniyama. Hand stamping pretend feet while crazy dance was loud laughter is mad. Sunikawa inspector, within listening to the monologue of the curse of vengeance demon, began to be attacked very uneasy. He, and had played quite an appointment with his brother. Has been Pogen, the most important part of the promise of a brother. Or was not to kill Shizuko. He then, already up to the purpose of the final, or would not that had played the inspector and think of it was not the stomach without the creeps. But where is Shizuko-san? Yuya Moya, that person. He is the next word, did not speak of courage. Shizuko is not that sucher here. Taniyama unexpected Yara shark of excitement, answered with lips blue a glowing face, foam. Dat you're here. Hey, say bullshit, do not know. The inspector, wearing now me at last caused tantrums. Become a ha ha ha. Now, I do not say something random. What will not even rush. Shizuko both Shigeru, so it does not have such a thing escape. Hate. It has lost the escape to force so I. Taniyama, along with a desperation of laughter, was the person bizarre good. Oh, Shizuko or called, has lost the escape force. Together. Or would have lost the power to escape in any wind. Well, let's let them meet with Shizuko. I'm here. Taniyama, go to the corner of the determinedly in the room, holding the pull of a small door. there seems to become a passage to the next room. Oh, would have been imprisoned in the room. The inspector is enthusiastic and ran in front of the door. Now, I decide to get visitation slowly. However, in the back brought together, might be a bit too heavy. Taniyama, while good as mocking, was pushed open the door. At the same time, strange cold air blowing out a quick. Oh, do not you pitch black switch the switch. Been urged to police inspector. Taniyama Fumari one step next room, down the wall of the switch. Looking at the light of the bright became electric lamps and package. The room is still a continuation of the machine room. A huge ice-making tank, such as a pond of concrete, was blocking the half of the chamber. Oya, nobody is not absent. The inspector, while Mimawashi about, it said ish dubious, but, the real, to the corner of his mind, already, feeling should be that horror is. I was beginning to spread to as rain clouds. I'm here. Taniyama is a nimble, and transmitted the edge of the pond. Go to the place of the small switchboard in the corner of the other side. One of the switch. Put the catch in, and, at the same time, in the last minute and the sound of creaking of gear, from the center of the tank, a huge prism of zinc, put anew and neck, raised gradually maki to the ceiling, and it is shaken from the tank. This time to the suspended to the side, to the outside of the tank, came down in slurping, just below it, with at some praise the boiling water. There is a pond of another small concrete rising standing of moya moya and steam. Huge Naru prism was performed using Zuba and into his. A little there for a while. The prism is lifted again from the pond. This time on the floor of the concrete. It was not enshrined as heavily. No longer is the place to doubt even a little. Shizuko and Shigeru is, or was engaged in any eye. Even in Akechi. Also in Sunikawa Mr. It has been found as to understand. But, in Bazaar 10 million murder means speaking too much. Indeed, if the police inspector was also seen in a stupor. It's Shizuko and Shigeru boy. Taniyama according to the side of the large rectangular column. In a tone described in note verbal of like a freak show. While Sky Usobuki, in counter side of the prism, was the ticking. Once, a huge zinc box. The bottom is open, leaving the contents on the floor. It was carried out heavens and Suru that appeared from under it. When viewed glance, very beautiful something. The shining light and sparkling. Felt like a giant flower. Although expected was a horror like a nightmare. Tetsuya Urara sight. Both human remains. Such as up. Another word was not boxwood. Oh, nothing that tragic, would have been a beautiful sight. There are, you've never seen before, outstanding in large Hanagori is reflected the electric lamp, smiling beautiful rainbow and sparkling. It stood, Hanagori, truly the Hanagori, there was no difference. However, the world commonplace, not a Hanagori of flowers. There is intact the agony of the tragic death agony, the human world of flowers. It had been confined to Mu's and nude figure which is not clothed as she of beautiful Shizuko. On its side, still naked Shigeru boy, in the form of clinging to the waist of the suffering of the less Shizuko, was frozen. Oh, of human beings, yet of an exceptionally beautiful woman and the boy. Hanagori that can find the nudity, once and see she, thus also cruel, at the same time. Dukakumo Tsuyali, is that devised the murder method? Or would have been even one person? Akechi is, but did not show Sushitaru's surprise. Sunikawa inspector, and see this human body Hanagori, had really turned off the liver. The entire incident, from his prior experience, badly Toba Hinair, but was a kind of magic of continuous. Therefore, he has had come to doubling the surprise in everything. The devil when it comes to the end of the performance it was more than a surprise. The inspector of the presence of things such as murder theory of art, but did not know even a little, wrapped in ice, of the figure of the victim. So much of beauty, I felt a strange embarrassment. He is, always, in bloody carcasses, Mugotarashi and wound, damned in the stench of death. Had seen only shadow of death, such as chilling, because murder had gotten it decided as seems to not dirty. It is, in front of the now second, while making the pose of a kind of anguish. Standing victims is wrapped in a rainbow of icicles. Toka crime, toka murder, from the idea or something dead, badly out of the way. As a kind of art, it does not seem to what an exceptionally beautiful, as his most blades. It is also the result of a terrible crime. There is also that there are question criminal, and the ends forget a moment, as view an excellent picture, admire the beautiful Hanagori, but, in the next moment, he is in too much of the horror of the idea of the criminal. Did not stomach not trembled. Shizuko and an Shigeru boy, living with, it had been Sarah on ice. They are trapped in the water. The water, let alone a moment-to-moment cold air, would be that the last freezing up. What kind of thoughts? Ear, but would not really alive until no way freeze. In the cold, cold becomes over water. While breathing difficulties struggled, they must have the purpose of the criminal had realized with the plight of corpses. Only beautiful Ivutsuku Shigeri. This murder method Himugotarashi. The inspector. Look at the beautiful goldfish that has been closed sometime in icicles. Reminded the experience that it was surprised by the cruelty of the husband that decorate the drawing room. Moreover, what is in front of the now first is not a goldfish, far from, but human beings to know him well. Wah ha 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 ha. It is how, or my idea I like you. Murderer also. It is a go of casting the queen like this. Murder artist guilty of a magician, while laughing loudly, was proud of my work. You guys, did you think I ran away? Nani. One thing, get away. This is the fine art products wanted to see. Assistant art detective San also came telling me properly I know you have. In other words, Z is a translation lured you guys here. I go to go home with her Shizuko. When will a bit too heavy? Do you remember that you have said? Detectives. Healed Okachi-kun. Also you're truly. I have a face like trouble just Shido. I'm also just by doing testify your nose. Very satisfactory. You are. I because of a Japan of the detective. Quote. To Niyama. Again in the bright red face. While wiping the froth from the mouth. The body of frantic. Continued to rant. To be continued. Thank you for your viewing. If you like, please subscribe to the channel. I am very encouraged.